Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, so like I was saying, we have concluded the aspect of buying a domain name, and we want to look at how do we buy file name. Now, I told us that whenever you are hosting a website, two different things are involved. One, the unified address or the uniform address that people can use to locate your contents on the internet, and that is what we refer to as URL, which is Uniform Resource Locator. So it's actually an address, a unique address that is allocated or that can be used to trace your contents uploaded in a server. And then you also need to pay for the space where those content will be what? Uploaded. And that is what we want to look at. Now we are using a hosting company called Go54, formerly known as Google Hosts. Now we find out that the interface has changed. They have restructured the interface such that once you create your client account, you can only purchase what? Domain name. So in this case, we are going to buy the domain name before we go for the hosting file. So that is the process now. So you buy the domain name first, and then accredited or accepted, then before you go for the hosting file. So let's quickly look at, I have a particular website that I built for a client I'm trying to host. So I want to see how I can use the details. So the first thing, we are going to search for the availability of the name we want to use. So that is the first thing you need to ensure. So here I'll search for the name. Let's say what? Mila. Like here, let's say Mila. So the way you type it is that you type it exactly the way you want it. Let's say www.mila, trying to make sure that no make mistake. Mila Daniel, miladaniel.com. Now, there is something we need to understand. At this point, you are buying the domain name. You need to understand the domain extension. Anything that comes, now look at this. This URL has 3 sections. So we need to know what is the responsibility of this part, what is the responsibility of this part, what is the responsibility of what? This part. You need to know. So now let me take them one after the other. I think this side that have the 3W, it is called the Internet Protocol. The Internet Protocol is the kind of set of rules that govern how data are transmitted from one point to another. So, and the full meaning is World Wide Web. So, which means that this content is a content that can be transferred across the entire world. It's not limited to a country. That is the meaning of that. That's the protocol that is attached to the content that starts with www. Now, the Mila Daniel aspect is the address. That is what tells you where the content will be fetched from. Then the .com talk about what? The domain extension that define the type of content you probably would see. .com means commercial. We have .org, which means what? Organization, which is mostly used for non-profitable organizations like churches, NGO. They are the one that uses what? Org. But some school, when they have expanded beyond certain level, where they now have like 3 sub-sites inside their main website. You know, like school now, they have their main website and they have student portal. So they can, that main website can end with what? That .edu or .org. So which means they are only saying that they are a very big organization under which you have different units. Then we have .net. These are services that are strictly on the internet. like all these cryptocurrency trading, these are internet-based transactions. Then we have .uk, which means that a website or that company based in what? UK. We have .ng. Now, all these extension has different values in terms of monetary wise. If you put .com, it means that you are a business person. So this hosting company will charge you higher than somebody who put what? .edu. So you need to be careful so that you don't waste your money. When you are hosting a website for a client, find out the type of website the person has so that you know whether you are to host it with .com or .org or .ng. Now, .com is expensive because it does not actually denote any special country. So irrespective of the country, irrespective of the what? The country image. Because if you put .ng now, you're going to see it now. Let's search for this and see whether it's available. Let's start with that, whether it's available. So you can see that what? This one is what? Taken. Our dividend is not taken. Look at the amount we pay per year. 24 what? Thousand per year. Now, if I add .ng now, just find, you see the rate at which the value will drop. That amount will drop now. That is if it's available. So what is happening here is that somebody have already hosted with what? This name. So you can see that they say what is available. Look at it from where? To what? So you can see the value, the country value. So that is the worth of your country. If you put .uk now, it will skyrocket. Put .us now to skyrocket. That is why it's very important for every country to build their image. So you can see how they have monetized you now. Now, this cannot go. The person gave me 3 different names. This is how you deal with clients. Because you know that one may not what? Be recognized. So I'll go back and check the next one he gave to me. The next one, I think it just the next one is Miller until I get the one that it accepted. Miller what? I think that is just David, Miller.com. So let's search for this. So you keep searching until you get the one it accepts. Let's see. Taking. So this one too is what? Taking. And it's the same. So he gave me another one. But the issue is that you need to also advise these customers. You know why you need to advise them? Because if you are always tell them to give you a simple URL, because some persons, when you give them your website address, if it's too long, they will find it reluctantly to work, to even say they want to enter, which kind of long name is this one? So let me try this other one, the what? Okay, down here. So if at the end of all this, if any of them is accepted, then I'm going to get back to him to provide another one. You must not do this yourself. If not, you and the client can have issue. Never suggest this name as a developer. Reach out to them. It's either both of you will sit down and look at it, or they can do it by themselves. Ensure that they are the one, this one too is what? Taking. So when you see things like this taking, you know that something is wrong. That person is trying to copy somebody. You know what he's doing. He's trying to look at somebody that have URL that look like this in order to probably take advantage of some of it. That's why you see all the names. But I will keep insisting as a developer to maintain my integrity, to make sure that he brings a different word, name. You shouldn't be in the same alignment with him. So with this one now, there is nothing I can do now, but just for us to complete the process, let me just forge any name I can delete. I'm not going to pay for it, but just for us to see the process. So let's say I want to use digits AAA dot call. In fact, that one that was acceptable with NG, right? Let me even use that one just to continue the process. What was that one said? It was Mila Daniel. I mean, Mila Daniel dot what? .com. Eh? .com dot what? .ng. So I think this one was accepted. Let's see. Let's see whether this one was accepted. Let's just see. Okay. So, and it's 3,000. Now, let's assume you have searched for the domain name like this and you are good to go. You now click on what? Add to cart. Now, there was a place that was showing years. You know, by default, it has been programmed on what? 1 year. But if you have an agreement with the client, sometimes there are some clients that have their website hosted for 3 years. They have the money. And you advise so that they will not be disturbed. But some clients will not want that. Some clients will not want that. So they want it to be expiring every year. And each time it expires, for you to renew it, you add your own charges inside it. Because you are going to buy data now. So you check, you let them know. But peradventure you want to update it, you can say come here. After you have passed that stage, you understand? To choose what? Another year. So after that, now
How do you click?
I'm just surprised. I just want to click outside. I don't know that. Okay, this is it here. This is it here now. This is what we are taking away. This is one I added. It's like I click on remove that on. So now there are other things that are involved because of the security of the internet today. So the cybersecurity experts have developed, intrusion detection system application that they are now selling to web hosting company to sell to their clients to protect their what? Website, which means you are paying for the cybersecurity expert what? Services and their own for them to protect your ID. You have to pay them what? 9,000. So if you don't want it, because you shouldn't quote like this and go and tell client that it's 3,000. By the time you call now, maybe this one now you can look at the total. They will have even added VAT. You can see it as what? 12,900. So since it's just for demo, I can say, okay, I don't want this. We are just practicing. I'm not going to pay for it. So let's check the quotation again. You can see that what? It has dropped. It's just the VAT value that they added. Now, let's assume that you want to pay. You will now proceed by clicking on what? Pay now. Pay now. For now, this is the first thing. So once you have paid, once you click on pay now, okay, let's see go so that we can see it to the end. We need to. So that it will now call what we call the payment what? Gateway. Payment gateway. Payment gateway is a kind of a script. It's usually JavaScript scripts that has been developed by a company in a nation. It's not everybody that have access to it. Like in West Africa entirely, we have just one that is accredited, which is Paystack. That is one that is serving the whole of West Africa. When I say West Africa, I'm talking about Nigeria, Ghana, you understand, all these countries. So if you want to pay with international, we have PayPal, right? I don't know if I've heard of PayPal. PayPal, that one is, they will require a lot of verification before they give you access to. But that one is international what? Payment gateway. Now, payment gateway is an app that link all the banks, all the registered banks. So in other words, it gives you options. Which one do you have to pay? This is one where you can scan with your SQR code. Then you can decide to say, okay, the best one that I will recommend for you is transfer. You know why I will not tell you to go through card? Because there are a lot of internet fraudsters that can emulate a website. As you are entering your password, whatever now, they can hack your account detail. To be on the safer side, you transfer. If you transfer, it's just the account number you are putting. Nobody have your account, because this one now will ask for your card, serial number, all those important, and they are very important to protect them. That's why I don't go with any of this. I go with what? Transfer. So the moment it brings it up like this, this is the amount, this particular amount that is specified. You must transfer exactly that amount. If you put excess, they will reject it. If you put below, they will reject it, except they have upgraded, because they want to make sure that what is accurate. So you put it that 0.65 like that. This is the account number. And then when you search via, maybe you want to transfer via opener, you have to ensure that the name comes up what? Like this. And then once you have finished transferring, while you are here, you saw the other day now, while you are here like this, once the money has gone, you see that what? To process automatically. So it's already automated to sense your payment and what? Tell you that what? Successful. So once you have completed this thing, I'm not paying, so I'll just exit. So this is the last stage for what? Buying domain name. So now let's go back to paying for a file. Paying for a file. Now you can see that as soon as I came back, is asking for what? Whether I want to search again, right? So I can go to the what? To the dashboard, right? Now I know that I have a domain name that is already added to what? To cart. Now this is the difference between the old version of Google Host and the new version, or Go 54. You will open another browser. We were looking for it inside here that day. So what they told me is that you open another browser, you will now type web hosting, whether what was it they told me now? Like this, Tango. Google host what? Web hosting what? Plans. So once you click here, just that first page that we were before we signed in is there. Actually, it's there. So let me just see how it comes up here. So from here, they will now ask you to enter the URL of the domain name you have purchased, because you must have a domain name before you purchase what? File. In other words, you must have an address before you purchase space where those contents are going to be what? Kept. So which means that if I don't want to go this way, I can even come here now and just say what? Google Host, as if I'm opening a new interface. As if I'm opening a new interface. No, so don't know why this is taking time. It should be natural. Okay, so when it brings you here, you now go to there's a way they showed it to me. I'm just trying to see whether no, this one is a different company said. TrueHost. It's not the one we are looking for. It's not the one we are looking for. Okay, so once you come here, look at it here. This is where you will now substitute that domain name. Look at the option they have here. That what? I already have what? The domain name. So they said, I think I came here and I selected what? Web hosting. We're not having, this is what we're supposed to have in that place. So once it brings you here like this, then you will now come down. You now come down and so let's add to cart. Let's see what we have there. I think this was the one that I was trying yesterday. Let me see it all. So I can say, okay, I want to see plans. Let's say that one was just captured because I was there yesterday. So I want to see plans. So this is the file now. This is not the domain name now. You can see that a month, they are running a promo now. A month, you are supposed to pay 2,000 what? 500. But they are giving a discount of what? 65%. And that is why it has reduced to what? To this. Now, you need to understand this particular session. Supposing you charge the client now with this amount, and when it's time to renew next year, and they're no longer running this promo, the client will argue with you that what? Maybe then it will have gone back to what? 255. And then we'll be arguing with you that I don't agree. The last time the money you collected was what? 800 and what? So that is why what you do as a developer, this discount should be your pocket money for you, not the client, because you create problem for yourself. Yes. So you charge the person based on what? This.
This should be your profits. So now you can have this one, and it depends on this. Now you need to also examine the advantages, because somebody paying 2,005, you cannot expect the same benefit with what somebody paying what 3,005. So before you choose any plan, take note of the benefits. Look at what it says here. The space that you'll be given is what? 8 gig. That's why they call it what? Basic, because this is the least space you can buy. Now, what kind of websites you are advised to use this for? Basic website that will not drive what? Much traffic. Website that only one person might open in a whole day. Website that 100 people cannot be exploring its content at the same time. That is not the kind of websites you use, but like all these busy websites that people are there exploring. Okay, which website can we say is business? Jumia. It's a very busy website. People are busy buying things, right? Such a website can never go forward. And you, when you are billing clients, don't go and bill them for this one, and then you now come and use this. This is where some developers have dubious character, because they know that the client is not here to see it. So they will bill the person with this just to hide the money. That we are buying you too much space. And at the end of the day, now they will go on. Now you should know that the customer will complain back to you that the website is slow. You will get that feedback. The only way the customer will not get back to you that it's slow is when people are not what? At the same time. So you'll be free. But at the same time, the website will not be that optimized like others. So just take note of that. Since we are just practicing, let's just go with what? This. So you click on that plan, and then the moment you click on it, it will ask you for the domain. You can see it now. It will ask you for choose your domain. That's why I said you must have purchased what? The address. Because if you rush to this place, it will ask you which address am I what? Attaching this space to. That's the logic. So now, that one that we have, if we have purchased it, it will be in the cart. They must have, so once you type it, they'll bring it out. What is the name that time? If we will have copied it.
Mila Daniel.
It's like it was even here. Have you?
Mila Daniel.
Mila, Mila Daniel. So it was .com. So now, they say what? You can use what? Domain you already own. You see it now? So Adipin is a domain you have already purchased now, like your own now. You type it now to bring it out. Yes, it exists. So now it will search for it to know whether you have it already. To search for it to confirm it. So you can see that what? You own this domain, but it is pending what? Registration payment. Is it not correct? It's correct. So because it's still in the what? The cart. You have no what? Pay for it. So now, so Adipin, it has gone through. Now you will see you will now click on what? Add to cart. You need to now list it here. The amount you have to pay. That 800. They will not give you option whether you want, because that is per month, whether you want to go for 1 year. So you now multiply 875 times what? 12. Then the amount it's result to will be added to what? That's 3,000. That is your total bill. Are we getting it now? So once we have done this, then we will now wait for them to send you your cPanel. If you go there now, you don't have cPanel because you have not purchased your space, but you only purchase what? Your name. So let's quickly do it there now so that we can, since we have already paid, so we can see it live. So for those that would like us to train you via live Zoom like this, in case you want to reach out to Mr. Prosper, you can chat me up on WhatsApp on 070-6966-5919.
You can also visit my YouTube page at Digital Zeal. Then you can also find me on TikTok, Digital Zeal as well.